Hey y'all, welcome to In the Wild, and today I think we have a very special treat for you because, well, I know I say all the time we have a special episode for you, but this one is like extra special because today we are going to talk to Dr. Keel, who has been our esteemed university president for almost a decade now. And as most of you know, this will be his final year serving as our president. So we're going to talk to him a little bit about his legacy, and just as we get ready to say farewell, just kind of check in with him. He has been a guest on the podcast every season, and I've always enjoyed being able to talk to him about what we've done as a university and where we're going next. And so we're going to talk to him a little bit about some other stuff. So I'm excited. But before we get into that, we have some special guests who wanted to say some things about Dr. Keel. So here we go.
Brooks, I remember 15 years ago in the governor's office that you being escorted in as a potential new president of Georgia Southern University. I wondered at that time, what can somebody from LSU teach us here in Georgia? But the fact is, you've taught us well at Georgia Southern and for almost 10 years at Augusta University. Thank you for bringing your family and yourself and your efforts and your passion for students to Georgia to help us grow and become. Over 9 consecutive years of enrollment growth there at Augusta, you've done great. You and Tammy deserve a great retirement, and I know that you'll be diving in the Keys, and I hope you'll bring me some of those nice lobsters. Don't forget us. Have a great retirement, Brooks. You've earned it. God bless.
This is U.S. Senator John Ossoff expressing my gratitude and appreciation to Dr. Brooks Keel for nearly a decade of service to Augusta University and a 40-year career in research and higher education. Dr. Keel, thank you for all that you have done for the state of Georgia, for the nation, and for higher education, and congratulations on your extraordinary successes.
Well, hello, everybody. Senator Reverend Warnock here. I'd like to give a huge congratulations to President Brooks Keel on his well-earned retirement. President Keel has dedicated nearly his entire professional life to education and uplifting the next generation of leaders. Augusta University has been so fortunate to have him at the helm for nearly a decade. Thanks to his steadfast leadership, AU educators and staff are better prepared to guide young scholars, and students are better prepared to pursue their dreams after graduation. And while the university will miss your steady hand, its continued success will be a testament, sir, to your legacy. So congratulations again, and do not hesitate to let my office know how we may ever be of service to you. Keep the faith and keep looking up.
Well, welcome back, Dr. Keel. One last time to have you on the show.
Just make it sound so final.
Well, that's true. Who knows? But I do appreciate it because I know this is a super busy time, even
Sure.
more than usual. But to get started with this one, I'm curious, like just growing up, did you ever envision yourself in this position as being president of a university?
No, absolutely not. Especially not growing up, coming from here. I mean, the whole concept of being able to even think about being a president sort of was a natural evolution for me. It took a lot of time. But my goal when I first started here was to go into medicine. Medical school wasn't in the cards for a variety of reasons, but I knew I wanted to go into some sort of aspect associated with that. And then once I got in graduate school, I thought my career sort of laid out for me to be a researcher. But things change, and you have to be able to adapt to that and move on. And so, fortunately for me, I was able to come back home.
Yeah, and I guess how did you get on the path to going into, I guess, higher education administration from being a researcher?
That's a great question. I get asked that a lot. I mean, my career really, as I said, started to get into research. I had a position at University of Kansas School of Medicine as a researcher, had my own NIH from the laboratory, and I ran a clinical lab that at that time was associated with very early on in the field of in vitro fertilization. We were one of the first labs in Kansas at the time to set that up. Kind of with a physician to set that up, and I thought this is kind of we wanted to do. While I was there, it was a small campus, the clinical branch of the University of Kansas School of Medicine, which was based out of Kansas City. the dean of the campus said, I need an associate dean for research. Would you want to just sort of do that part-time? I said, yeah, sounds like fun. I'll do that. So from there, I got more and more involved in doing administrative things, even on the research side. I ran a research institute in the Department of OB-GYN there. I was hiring faculty and had to make a decision to either continue down the road of doing research, NIH funding and that sort of thing, or go into administration full-time. It got increasingly difficult for me to do both. So talking over with Tammy, we made a decision that administration is probably the best way for me to go. So that's what I did. Left all my labs behind, left Kansas, and went to Florida State and just kind of went from there and progressed from associate vice president for research at Florida State to vice chancellor for research at LSU, and then started looking at president positions, which led me to Georgia Southern, and then, as I say, back home.
So when you first became president of AU, what were your, I guess, initial hopes and just aspirations for the university, and how did that kind of evolve over time? Because
I hope I wouldn't mess it up. Is what I mean. The first hope was really that. You know, I love coming back home for a lot of reasons, of course, but it got me back into a more research-intensive environment, biomedical research especially. So the aspirations really were to try to help the Medical College of Georgia really progress in that way and become even more research-intensive than it was. But with the merger, with the consolidation, it just presented some incredible opportunities. And having been a graduate of both of those legacy institutions, I also wanted to see, how can we take advantage of the fact that the old Augusta State, which was Augusta College when I went there, and the old MCG, which was Georgia Health Sciences University, was so different. How do we take advantage of that, pulling it together? So we began to start taking it in really creative ways to do that. And so it was really to grow the entire university, realizing that we had to be unique, we had to set ourselves apart from everybody else in the state. And that's kind of where we started the path down that led us to here.
Yeah, now we're one of the fastest growing universities in Georgia.
Yeah, and one of the things I'm most proud of is the fact that we were able to do that. We had year-over-year increases in enrollment since 2015 when we started here of about 2.5%, 3%, about a 27% increase in enrollment total from 2015 to this past fall. I don't think there's very few, if any, universities within the state of Georgia that can actually claim that. And there's a lot of reasons for that. All of them are really positive and really cool, and it just speaks to the reputation primarily of the university, and that speaks to the great work that our faculty and staff do here.
I know this may be a tricky question, but I promise you it's not. But when you reflect on just all the things that were accomplished over your tenure here, what would you say makes you the most proud when you think about it?
Probably two things. I mentioned enrollment, and that's all about the students. I mean, everything we do is about the students. We tend to get so focused on research that we forget that, but even that's about the students too. But it really was to do that. But it was to get the consolidation, over all the name changes, over all the bad feelings about that, and get people focused on what the consolidated university can be. And the name change and the rebranding associated with this gave us that opportunity. People begin to start having pride in their university, to call it their university here in Augusta. And I think the faculty began to start saying, wow, we got this sort of liberal arts, really good liberal arts, small liberal arts field of a university, this giant biomedical sciences, health sciences, a field of a university. How do we bring those two together? And we brought those two together in just fantastic ways. And really everything that you see now positive, I think, really stems from the fact that we have taken advantage of that consolidation in positive ways and have gained a lot of positive things from it.
Yeah, I definitely agree. The consolidation overall was definitely a huge accomplishment, because I remember getting here as a freshman was our first year of the consolidated entity. And at the time, that first year, it definitely did feel still very separated. And now that we have, housing on Oak and Elm, and it just really feels like one big university, even with adding a cyber into the mix and a new campus on that front as well. Like, it still feels like one big university.
Well, and a lot of that has to do, I think, to the vision of some of the people that were here long before I came here. Dean Hicks from the College of Science and Mathematics and his vision of moving the College of Science and Math from the Somerville campus down to Health Sciences campus, which I got to tell you, when I first heard that, I said, that's the craziest thing I've ever heard. Why in the world would you do that? But it really melded the two campuses together, two legacy institutions together, in very visible and very creative ways. It plopped those undergraduate students right in the middle of the white coats. I mean, literally right in the middle, so that as they're going back and forth to class, and as an undergraduate, they can see what they want to become. They can see the young doctors in their white coats. They can see the dentists, the nurses, the allied health professionals, and the researchers from that campus all together. And the other thing it did, which I don't think anybody was expecting, was that it instilled the excitement of especially a freshman class, of an undergraduate class, onto that campus, which historically had been almost entirely, if not entirely, professional graduate students. There were a lot of faculty who were very concerned about that. Oh, you can have all these 18-year-olds running in the lab and making a mess and all this. And after about 2 weeks, he says, this is really kind of cool. You feel the excitement that brings, and that to me was something I think we all need to be really proud of.
I think that's really cool. And now on Somerville, we have the School of Public Health taking up space, which I think they'll continue to grow and do awesome things as well.
Exactly. It's just the same sort of concept. You brought some of that biomedical stuff onto this campus in very creative ways.
Were there any other, I guess, challenges or obstacles do you think that we, as a university, we've really overcome over the past couple of years that you're proud of?
Yeah, I mean, we talked about some of those, but the biggest one was name changes and multiple name changes. None of that was planned, of course. I think it was, but it just happened. And it's amazing. I've said this many times, but I still to this day will have people stop me in the grocery store or at Home Depot, something like that, and say, I just want to thank you for bringing the A back, for changing the name. I knew that there were a few really vocal people in the community, great supporters, great individuals who were passionate about bringing Augusta back into the name. But it was more visceral than that. It was more widespread than that, and just folks that you may never think felt very strongly about that, and it was the entire community. It was embedded in the DNA of the whole community. Once we got beyond that, then things really started to take off.
And as president, I guess, what is that like for you to see people, when they do approach you and say, thank you for doing this, whether it be with the name change or any other thing you accomplished? What does that feel like for you?
Well, it's very humbling. Obviously, I'm proud of this institution for all the reasons that you know right away. But I always have to keep reminding myself that it wasn't me. Really, it was a whole slew of folks. It was a team effort. From a variety of my executive cabinet and the great work that they do, but just the faculty on both campuses, what they do day in, day out, it was the entire university that made all this happen. So there are a lot of thanks that need to be said, but they need to be spread around to a lot of people. I get to be a cheerleader, and that's a role that I take a lot of pride in.
And going off of that, throughout your career, who would you say are some of your greatest mentors and influences as you led the university and oversaw all these changes and worked with this team, like you said, to, keep them going and to inspire them? But I guess who inspires you?
That's a great question. I mentioned this at my investiture. There were two people here that really sort of set me on my path, and one of those was John Black. And John unfortunately passed away a year or so ago. But he got me interested in doing research as an undergraduate student. He really sort of steered me towards graduate school. When I mentioned that I knew medical school was not in the cards for me for a whole variety of reasons. So what am I going to do? I wanted with a biology degree and not going to medical school. And he opened the door for me not only into graduate school, but to spark sort of a passion for research. And then on the graduate side of things, Tom Abney was my mentor in graduate school, and he taught me a lot about science and how to do science and how to have fun with it, which is so critical in any job that you do. And so with the two of those really sort of set me on a path. But I've been really fortunate. Every place I've been, there has been someone at Wichita. The chairman of the department, Dan Roberts, was the most amazing person I think I've ever known. and he taught me so much about leadership and administration and those sorts of things. And then the vice president for research at Florida State, who was a physicist, a fantastic individual, Kirby Kemper, and I learned a heck of a lot from him. He's one of those consummate physicists that could take the most complex thing in the world, and no matter about 30 seconds, boil it down where you could understand. And you go, well, gosh, I mean, I wish I had you in my class. You know, I could have gone a lot further. But I learned a lot from him, and then of course even at LSU, the chancellor there, and then the president of the LSU system learned a lot from. So a lot of folks passed on down to me some tidbits of knowledge and encouragement, mostly that I needed. And you know, Tammy's my biggest hero. She's the one that really is responsible for me being here. And she never was behind me. She's always beside me. You know, she supports me, but she's always been beside me, and always been my best friend. So that's been I can't say enough about that.
Well, that's great that you had that support system throughout your career. But I'm also curious, just with the university system of Georgia, you know, we have a number of other presidents. Is there any of the presidents that you like pick up the phone and call when you have a particular problem? Like, hey, this is what we got going on here in Augusta.
Yeah, there are 25 other campuses, as you know, and we're very competitive for obvious reasons. But we're also very collegial, and I've been one of the real thrills of being in this particular system is that you can pick up the phone. You know, Kyle Moreau at Georgia Southern is a really good friend, and we stay in contact together. And of course, Jerry Moorhead at the University of Georgia has been a great friend too. And with the partnership campus that we had there at MCG, when he became president, I became president. The relationships, I think, really became between the two institutions improved tremendously in that regard. So. A lot of respect among the university system presidents. It doesn't matter if you're at a small university or Georgia Tech is massive. You know, everybody looks after each other and works hard together. We've used some of the expertise at some of the other campuses too to help us with some things. Instead of going outside the state of Georgia to hire some consultant, we might need to look in our own backyard. We've got great talent here across the state, and we've been fortunate to be able to take advantage of that.
Is there anything that you wish you would have accomplished, or that's like left on your bucket list for your presidency?
Well, you know, I mentioned research, and I wish that we had been able to progress in that area more than we have. I mean, we've made tremendous strides, but we had to spend an awful lot of time the first, probably 5 or 6 years I was here, rebuilding the reserves that were spent down. Forming the relationship with the health system and getting a partner worked out there was so critical for the long-term success for the medical college. Doing all that sort of stuff, I really didn't have time to sort of look up and say, let's think more visionary about where we want to go, what we want to do. Now, the last 3 years, we've been able to see some of the fruits of that labor. So we are beginning to see tremendous increases in research, and it's just never enough. It's never enough stuff, and some of the exciting things that have come out of the two legacy institutions are just now really beginning to take root and to grow. So I wish I could have seen more of that happen, but as president, I'll be able to see it as an alum and be able to take a certain great amount of pride in that too.
Yeah, I was hoping you were going to say the completion of the parking deck on the health sciences campus.
Well, that is one thing. There's no doubt. As mundane as that sounds, the parking and dining are the two biggest questions I always get asked. But that'll help tremendously. Still not going to be enough. I got a question today about this. Matter of fact, in another meeting, the days of being able to park right in front of your classroom or your office is long gone. We know that. But that's the price of progress. So that's what it costs. That's the price worth paying.
So shifting gears a little bit, what advice would you give to the next president for AU?
Same advice I gave myself: don't mess it up. Don't destroy the momentum that we currently have going. Now, any president is going to bring their own vision. You'd expect them to, and that's one of the exciting things about a new president coming in is that he or she has different experiences. Comes with different ways of thinking, has different motivations, etc. And I would look forward to seeing how that develops. But there's so much potential and momentum that we've had to overcome to get to where we now have so much potential and momentum going forward. You know, when I leave this place June 30th, I will go feeling really, really good about how we've left it, how I've left it, and the team that we have in place here. We'll be able to carry that forward in some really exciting ways.
And what qualities do you think would best serve the new leader? Like, what do they need to have in order to make it?
Yeah, no, it's a great question. They need to be Superman or Superwoman. You know, everybody, that's what everybody wants in a president,
Right.
And it's what I would want too. Of course, I think that obviously a person needs vision in terms of where we might need to go. They need to have an appreciation for what the Medical College of Georgia is. Now, we always talk about that like it's the only thing here, but you can't overemphasize the importance of the 13th oldest medical school and 8th largest medical school in the country. Now, right here, what that all means to us. So someone who understands the important role that we play in the entire state of Georgia from that perspective. But someone who also appreciates the legacy that the Augusta College, Augusta State brings to the table. A strong performing arts, visual arts here, humanities, education, business, all those sorts of things, and what that brings to the table. And then someone who appreciates the unbelievable opportunities that Wellstar brings, not only to the medical college, of course, but to the entire university. We should be leaders in other things associated with healthcare besides just patient care, healthcare administration, healthcare data science and big data, and what that all means, telehealth, and the implementation, taking artificial intelligence and blending it in with medicine and education, et cetera. And how can we take advantage of the great strengths we have from the Somerville campus to help carry out our great and expected missions of being the state's only public academic medical center and only designated health sciences university in the state. So that's a super person.
Yeah.
But anybody who would take this job, who would come here, I think would by definition have that appreciation. And so again, I can leave and feel really good about the future of this place.
And as you prepare to leave this place, what do you think your lasting legacy will be for Augusta University?
Well, everybody likes to think that they're going to build a statue to me, and everybody, that's certainly not going to happen. I'll get my portrait, put it in the hall with all the other presidents. But I think bringing the two institutions together, if I could be remembered for anything, I would hope it would be for that we were able to bring these two institutions together and get everybody galvanized and around what we can be. We're still a very young university. We still are figuring out what it is that we want to be, and that's a very exciting place to be. So, leaving all the misunderstandings and all that stuff in the background, I focused on the future. I'd be really pleased with that.
I like that. But don't go anywhere. We're going to take a quick break, and then we'll be right back.
Dr. Keel, you would be the first to say that you've built a great team around you to get so much of what you've been able to do at Augusta University accomplished. But you'd also say that you've got a great team back at home. You and Tammy have done so much for Augusta University and for higher education in this state. So on your retirement, enjoy it. I will miss being able to have our daily conversations, particularly in the last couple of months when it always ends with the bells and whistles that you're getting on your truck or your boat. And so I hope that you and Tammy have a wonderful retirement. Well done. Well done. You have done a phenomenal job at Augusta University.
Dr. Keel, how do I put 15 years of working for you into a 15-second video message? You are certainly the most beloved president. I've learned so much from you. You have a genuine passion for students. I remember starting the same summer that you did at Georgia Southern University. I remember watching you get tackled on the sideline of the football field because you were so invested in cheering on our students as they were playing football. I remember watching you cry when we lost the five nursing students at Georgia Southern. I've seen you lead us here at Augusta University through challenging times like the pandemic. We've had so many wins here. I was honored and privileged to lead your inauguration and investiture here, which is truly the highlight of my career. I just wanted to wish you and Dr. Shalhoub all the best in your retirement, and thank you for your leadership throughout the last 15 years of my career.
Well, I've thoroughly enjoyed working with President Keel over the past 3.5 years. He's been a fantastic mentor to me personally. But if I think of one memory, it was really spring of 2022 when we launched the official AU tartan. And President Keel agreed to wear a kilt as part of that. He did a lot of research. He knew how to put it on and all the accessories. And when we walked out on the amphitheater stage with Augustus and the Piper, he really had a lot of fun. And I think to me that exemplifies his personality. Dr. Keel, you've been an amazing mentor to me over the past 3.5 years. I've thoroughly enjoyed working for you and looking forward to seeing your sailing adventures down there in Key West.
Welcome back, y'all. We're here with Dr. Keel. I want to say, reminiscing a little bit about your tenure here at Augusta University, and I thought it would be fun to play a fun little guessing game with you, just to kind of...
I'm going to see what this is now before we know if it's going to be any fun or not. So.
It's going to be fun, I promise.
Okay, all right.
So,
I'll go with it.
As president, you have to speak and attend at a number of events, and so we went through our archive to find some, and I want to see if you can just tell us a little bit about what's going on in some of these some of these photos. So this one is up first.
Yeah, I do remember that. Of course, that's Coach Clint Bryan. I was athletic director here, been athletic director here for many, many years. I got a chance to throw out the first pitch at a baseball game, and they actually gave me a jersey that they were wearing at the time. So I put the jersey on and went out to the mound and threw the first pitch. So that's one of those jobs that you don't think about when you get to be appointed president, is throwing out the first pitch, especially when you're not athletic. So that was probably one of the most stressful things I ever had to do.
Oh, wow. What about this one?
Yeah, that's a child care center. They had a breakfast for the kids in the child care center, as I recall, and they asked me to come over and have a chance to kind of interact with those young people. It was a lot of fun, and had a few pancakes, and had a great time.
Yeah, pancakes with the president. Now this one is interesting.
Yeah, that's a LifeWatch helicopter. We've got now a full-blown LifeWatch helicopter that's now owned by us and is staffed by us. We can reach just about any corner of the state, but that was the first helicopter we had, and wondered if we wanted to take a ride. Of course, I jumped at the chance. Got a chance to take off from the top of the hospital and fly around with it. So
oh, that's cool.
Yeah, really cool.
Do you remember this one?
No, I don't. Is that Christmas? No, I can't. What am I? Kind of hat am I wearing there?
So this was the, I guess, relaunch for when we announced the new name.
Yeah. Okay, that's the branding launch.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right, you got me on that one.
Okay.
Yeah, that's Senator Gingrich, or Congressman Gingrich. Boy, now that's embarrassing. You have to correct me on that. This was my investiture.
Yeah.
That I can tell you. Yeah, because Tammy was fifth with that. He's welcoming us in investiture. So, yeah. That was one of the I Give campaigns, I believe. I think that's Somerville campus, and getting a T-shirt from the I Give there.
Good old I Give.
Yeah. This was one of the president's galas. In fact, I think it was the last president's gala we had right here on the Somerville campus. That was to promote arts and humanities, as I remember. That's Tammy, me, and dressed in our finest and just having a great time there.
So for those who are unfamiliar, do you mind sharing what the President's Gala is about?
It was a fundraising gala. It was an opportunity to recognize the donors that have given at a certain level, but also a chance to sell tables for people to donate to the cause, if you will. We had 4 or 5 of those, I think, around. Then, of course, COVID hit and put a stop to that, and then it's become very difficult to even host events like that post-COVID. So, but it was just a great opportunity to say thank you to our donors and to raise money for scholarships.
All right. Next up is this one.
It was out at SRP Park. Mm-hmm. It was fairly recent. Shoot, I cannot remember what the event was for.
for this one was the Experience Like No Other launch.
Ah, that's right. Okay. Yes, indeed. Yeah, that's right. Okay.
I was at that one.
Okay. That was the Literacy Center.
Yeah.
Grand opening. Yep. Yep. Okay. Over at the hub.
Yeah, and Condoleezza Rice was there.
That's right.
Which was really
yeah,
cool.
Had a chance to meet her. This was serving Thanksgiving dinner over at the dining hall here.
Oh, Atrium
Hill's
Dining.
Office.
Yep.
Yep. Atrium. Mm-hmm. I had opportunity for my executive staff to go serve Thanksgiving dinner or Christmas dinner, one or the other. Thanksgiving, I think it was.
Okay, this one looks more recent.
Yes, that was ribbon cutting for the library renovation there with Chancellor Perdue. Always enjoy ribbon cuttings and groundbreakings. Always enjoy those. Those are great opportunities for presidents.
Oh, another one with Chancellor Perdue.
Yeah, this was the formal announcement of the relationship with Wellstar, the signing of the agreement with Wellstar. We had that was a press conference. It was in our conference room. We're doing a Zoom press conference with the Atlanta Journal-Constitution.
What type of, I'm sure there was a lot of meetings and a lot of work that goes into building a partnership like that.
Yeah, we talked about a several billion-dollar operation like that. We spent the better part of a year on Teams meetings that were just not almost every single day. There would be some Teams meetings with 15 to 20 people on at one time. Very, very complicated deal, but it was a huge deal. It was an $800 million operation for the health system. It was a 40-year lease agreement we were signing with an organization, one of the biggest healthcare organizations in the state of Georgia. And it really did secure the long-term survivability, stability of the health system, which ensured that for the medical cause. So very, very important historical event for us and something we worked on for quite a while. That was just getting the deal done with Wellstar. We spent years going through with consultants to try to find the right partner, make sure we got the right fit. And we really were fortunate to be with Wellstar.
I'm excited to see what the new hospital will bring in Columbia County.
Absolutely, yeah. That was one of the things that they committed to doing. And, Columbia County is the largest county in Georgia without a hospital. We've been trying to get through the legal hurdles to execute the certificate of need to build that hospital since 2014. So the opportunity to get that done we just went out there not too long ago, a couple weeks ago, for the official groundbreaking on that with Governor Kemp and Chancellor Perdue. That was just recent. I was honored to have a resolution presented both in the House and the Senate for my term as president here. And this is Senator Howard Jones, our senator, presenting me with the Senate version of the resolution. Very, very honored and pleased to be there. Tammy and I were very, very pleased to be there.
That's pretty cool. That was a pretty cool event. What about this one? It's a little more colorful.
Yeah, now that's a mural that I think it was 40 of our faculty, staff, and students helped paint that mural. It's downtown. If you're coming from the Cyber Garage parking deck heading towards Marriott for commencement, as a matter of fact, you'll see this mural off to your right there. It's just a beautiful way of decorating part of downtown Augusta, but also really showing off the talent and the stuff that makes up this university. So, yeah, again, that gets to a lot of the other part of this university that's not just all science. That's very, very important for us.
And since it's graduation season, I'm hoping we'll see a lot of grad photos.
Yeah, we hope so too.
Okay, so this is the last one. Do you remember this one? This is a throwback.
Yeah, boy, I can tell it's the throwback. I can see who's in. I can't remember. I can't remember where that was taken. No, you got me on that one.
So this one I will remember because it was your first week on campus, and we were told that you were going to come to one of our orientations that week.
Ah, okay.
And so our supervisor at the time said, like, hey, Dr. Keel loves taking selfies, so if you see him, don't miss out on the opportunities. So I remember our team was like, we see him in the JSAC, so we all rallied together to get you for that one. So
That's fantastic.
that's a good throwback for sure. But
Well, I recognize most of those. Most of them. It's not too bad.
yeah, I think you did pretty well over the past couple of years. Another cool thing that'll be happening very soon is that you'll be one of our commencement speakers. As you prepare to deliver your address, what message do you hope to give to the graduating students?
I hope to do something that's not boring. That's just truly one of my biggest hopes. You know, commencement speeches are what they are, and I will make a comment then, but it's certainly true that nobody really remembers who their commencement speaker was, and that's okay, but this is for the graduate commencement address. I actually gave commencement address my first year here for
Okay.
one of the undergraduate ceremonies that we gave, so this will kind of cap off my career by doing it for the graduate on Thursday evening, and really excited about that, and I'm hopefully, if nothing else, it'll give those students an opportunity to see that, you know, one of their own graduated from this place, and you know, it didn't turn out too bad.
So if you had to describe your speech so far in one word, what would it be?
Exciting.
Okay. I like that. I like that.
That's the hope, anyhow.
And I guess just in general, what advice would you give to the new graduates just as they venture off into their own journeys?
Well, obviously, the commencement address really is about giving advice. But one of the things that I'll be mentioning is, you know, work hard, dream big, those sorts of things. But embracing change, I never really fully appreciated how important, how critical it is that you not be afraid of change, because it's going to happen and not a thing you can do about it. But without a doubt, the most important fact, I think, is to have fun in what you're doing. And, you know, every day's not going to be fun. Some days are going to be incredibly hard and difficult. But overall, if you're not having fun in what you're doing, you really, really should do something else. You know, life is really short, very short and very precious. And you need to enjoy it the best you can.
What do you think you'll miss the most about being president?
This sort of thing. I mean, seriously, interacting with the people of this university. You know, any successful university is all about the people. It's about the faculty and the staff that give us a chance to do the things that we do to support our priority, and that's our patients and our students. So that's our patients and our students, so are the people we serve, and I'm going to miss interacting with those people that we serve. And then I'm going to miss interacting with the incredible faculty and staff we have here that make my job easy. Like I say, I get credit for a lot of things, and the vast majority, if not all of them, are due entirely to the great work of those individuals. So I will miss that a lot. Tammy and I will miss that. We'll be coming back quite a bit. We've got a lot of family here, as you know, so we'll be back. But you don't want old presidents hanging around the institution, so you may not see me on campus. That's intentional to give the new president a chance to kind of do their own thing. But yeah, we're going to miss the people.
And what is something that you won't miss at all?
Wow, won't miss at all. You know, I really can't think of anything that I won't miss. I guess if I had to, it's some of the bureaucracy that you have to do that sometimes gets in the way of being able to do the things that you really want to do, and that's true with any job. So
yeah,
you just that's one of those things that you just have to deal with it.
That's true. And last question before I let you go is, what message would you like to leave to the AU community just as you prepare to say farewell as president?
You can't overemphasize the impact that this institution has across the board. You know, we have a lot of things to be proud of, but that is all based off the reputation of this institution and how the reputation has increased over time, and that reputation due to the great work that's done here. We do the things to give students the best opportunity for an education they can possibly get. and to provide our patients with the highest quality care that they can get anywhere in the world. And that's what makes this place special, and that's what will always be special about this place.
Well, thank you, Dr. Keel, for being here today, but also for everything that you've done for the university.
Well, thank you very much. Appreciate what you do. This is good stuff.
Thank you, sir. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed our conversation with Dr. Keel. I know I certainly did. I always feel so inspired by talking to him and just seeing how excited he is, not only for what he's done, but also just for the next chapter. So congratulations, Dr. Keel. Thank you for everything you've done for Augusta University. For me, as an employee, as an alum, as a student, my experience with you has always been the best. So I'm wishing you the best in this next chapter. And if you guys would like, we would love to hear your farewell messages to Dr. Keel. So feel free to like, comment, share all those things. We'll be doing more things on social media, so check us out there as well. And yeah, let's have a very loud roar as we say farewell to Dr. Keel. And we have some more special messages from some very special folks, not only from campus, but also around the state of Georgia. So here are those. Enjoy.
Dr. Keel, happy retirement. I really hope you enjoy your Denali truck, your boat, and living in the Keys. And when you're out fishing for bonefish or drinking your conch soup late in the afternoon, just remember we're going to be here working to get into the top 60 of NIH funding, your aspirational goal for us. And when we get there, I will let you know first. Thank you very much. I hope you and Tammy have a great retirement, and we'll always stay in touch, and I will always remember you. Thanks again.
Hello, President Keel, and congratulations on your retirement. It is my honor to be here to wish you well, just as it has been my honor to serve as your Vice President for Enrollment and Student Affairs for these past 6 years. I must admit, when I first took this job and heard about your goal for 16,000 students by 2030, I thought you were a little crazy. But I soon realized that what you gave me and gave our entire campus was a rallying cry to grow our enrollment. And with that rallying cry, we have surpassing 10,000 students in fall of 2023 and growing every year, positive growth for the past 8 years. It's truly amazing, and it has been an amazing experience in my life to be able to work with a president that has the leadership that you have offered this campus. I have enjoyed working here so much with you and wish you all the best. And because you are a president who says you have one priority, your students and your patients, I had to bring some of my favorite students to join me in wishing you well.
Thank you for making your students your #1 priority. Go Jags!